What's going on, everybody? Welcome to week 3, round 2, Hadriel Jetberg. I'm going to do a voiceover of this as the original voice recording didn't turn out too well. I was trying a different setup. I recorded on my phone. I thought I had a Bluetooth headset set up, but it wasn't working, and you can just hear my hand running over the microphone. So to start everything out against this opponent, we elect to use our favorite non-relic crew counter of late. Seems to be my go-to, and that's the Bastila, Ahsoka, Hermit Yoda. Obviously, the goal is just immediately take out Fox, but again, I failed to learn that, maybe I should just ability block crew to begin, as that would stop his 2-turn stun on Bastila. I think if I did that, this probably would go much smoother. As you see here, I learn it. I get the ability block there, and then I should be able to take out Kylo here in a couple swings. There's nothing threatening about this group, especially with Hermit Yoda, Bastila, and Ahsoka's healing ability. It's just a time sink, and really the goal is just get them down before they steal any banners, which they do not get to do, as we win with 54 banners here. Next up, we're looking at this Jedi Knight Revan comp. And just because, Mark can go wrong, I like to just go ahead and use a full trio here. They got tenacity up, so I don't want to use the second special. I'm just kind of debating who I want to go after, but I think I end up going after Bastila. She's probably the squishiest that I can proc. Savior or even Death Mark on Jedi Knight Revan. So as I go through here, now that they had all shock, I thought I'd go for some damage, try to push Jedi Knight Revan into that Death Mark. Worked out in the end, but I believe here is when I finally get around to using the debuffs. I know I'm going right after Jolie, so I target Bastila initially, and now the goal is just to kill Jolie. Little mistake there. I used my shock special without a shock debuff. I should have just used basic at that point, but ultimately it doesn't matter. I think I somehow managed to end this with 53. So not bad for a Relic and Jedi Knight Revan squad. Main goal here, as usual, is open up the back to see if the counters I have laid out for the top will work. It will drive some potential indecision here, so it's just kind of seeing how I feel. And I believe I like to take Shock T. Is that what I end up doing here? Yes. I thought about 2-manning it, but it's kind of one of those things where it's not worth dropping a battle over a banner, and there's no feats for undersized squadrons, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going right after the AoE, the Relic, the DPS of the squad, of the group. And that would be obviously Lando, expecting R2 to stealth or use that ability, and then was hoping to drop him before he did his AoE stun, but that was not the case. Anyway, I expect Old Ben to taunt next, which I actually don't think he does. He uses a basic, which is out of his normal, twice. I wonder if there's something coded with him and only being him left if he's just not going to waste a turn with his taunt, which is not what Bosk does in a Bounty Hunter squad. So now that we got the front door open, we're relieved by the lack of tough defense in the back. And at this point, I'm just kind of considering who I want to take out first, because they have a CLS squad up north that I was looking at using a mirror for if there was something tough in the back. But since there's not really back here, I'm now free to split up my rebels again. I believe I do the 3PO Han Chewie eventually, and the CLS Chupio and Ezra for the counter. So I think I should start off with the Geos here. Let's see what happens. Can't tell what I clicked. Going after the Geos, and I'm using my Treya. I was able to successfully use Treya and TW against a Gear 12 Geo squad, so I had a little bit more confidence than I would in a GAC to try it out against the Geo trio. They also didn't have Spy, so I'm not too worried about any kind of big hit that would take somebody out, so I'm not worried about losing anybody at this point. So for now, it's just play it out, get an ability block on GBA if possible. Didn't work out because Poggle just cleansed it. We'll know that they'll even before using that basic there, but we're just looking to hopefully take him down before Scion goes down, but he goes Super Scion, whatever you want to call it. And now we've got it. Nobody will die. Worst case scenario, we'll lose 1 or 2 banners overall. I did not expect Treya to be able to kill Soldier there, but I forgot that I have Treya poorly modded and she's got an offense set. So that's a weird outcome of her having that kind of mod set. She's still 240 speed, so she's not terribly slow. But ideally, as I transition into Galactic Legends counters, I'm going to need to make her tankier, make sure she's still as fast as possible. So probably a crit avoidance arrow, as when I took her up against Raves, Jedi Knight Revens, they tend to target her all the time with direct focus. That seems to be the hard programming. Easy battle here. Weapons tech on Vader, Merciless. Target the zombie with the AoE, drop Daka. Sometimes this may or may not drop Saj, but with my new mods I got on Vader, 74,000 on the basic was more than good enough. Here I'm just trying to decide how I can keep some banners, and realistically I probably could have replaced the tech on Vader to make sure he gets attacked instead of Piet, but it wasn't a factor. Got out of there 54 banners. So here we're facing the dilemma of we have Gas, Jedi Knight Revan, Padme, and then I believe two Rebel squads to take out these guys. Just try to figure out how I want to balance it and where I want to use what. The one downfall of trying to do these all in one sitting is you kind of feel a little pressure to make the decision quickly, so you don't have a lot of downtime or dead time, and it makes it probably a little bit more stressful than it is. If I just sat down after clearing the bottom section and then planned it out and then attacked, which since I'm not doing this live would be a very reasonable thing for me to do, it would go over much more smoothly, and probably lead to better efficiency on my part. Maybe I'll do that this coming week as we push for top 10 in Division 2. So again, one of my new favorites as far as squads is this grouping here, though Hera's proving to be a little bit tankier than I thought she would. I should have went for the stun on Chopper, but instead I decided to AoE daze because I'm worried about these guys counterattacking for some reason, which is not a thing. But it works out, and I make a mistake here. I should have swapped with Nest because I could have gotten 54 banners. So I used the basic for some odd reason. I guess I just thought Chopper was going to last a bit longer, and that was a mistake. It cost me a banner. Next up is Padme. I just want to have something to be able to try to cleanse some debuffs. I almost killed Spy in one hit there. Anakin's got another set of mods that I probably need to put somewhere else, as he's probably a little fast for what he needs to do, and I can probably get better offense mods on him if I give him that remod. Not a lot of synergy there, or not a lot of opportunity. Not high geared. I brought in some relics, so just kind of overpowered it. Nothing spectacular. All right, against the CLS squad, I probably could have gotten away with just Gas and one of the clones, but I wasn't sure how much damage these guys were going to be able to do. So I elect to bring everybody in, and it's just kind of one of those squads where it's not a lot of regeneration, so if there's AoE of any kind, you're going to lose banners and you're not going to get them back. But this one ends up not really being much of a problem. It's a Gear 12 Han, so he's going to go down pretty quickly. And then the CLS is also not much of a match for Gas, so it's no competition, overpowered, 51 banner outcome. Next up, some high gear levels, but not a lot of staying power. I really should have gone left Jolie out for extra banner, but it's just battle security. I like it. I overkill. If you watch my fleet battles, I tend to bring in way too much. I'm not confident in their abilities. But in this case, I like to do it. Just bring it in. As you can see, completely not needed. And cost me at least 2 banners there probably. If I didn't do that, I probably would have got some call to assist that would have topped him off and would have killed him almost just as quickly. We probably could have gotten 55. So looking at it, I didn't know he had a 5-star negotiator as he runs his Thrawn fleet as his primary fleet squadron. So I just wanted to check. I couldn't remember which clones were what gear level, and when I saw that was gear 12 5s, I knew I was in a good spot to just be able to use my standard counters, not have to worry about it, and I'll actually try to undersize to a certain extent. Put 3PO in the lead spot here as he now gains that guard from Chewie, so everybody does. And this is just completely overkill. Misplay there. He had tenacity up, so I wasn't going to stun him. I should have targeted Cassian. He's the one that we want to target anyways, as he tends to throw the AoE. I don't know if it does AoE damage, but it gives a lot of debuffs that we'd have to kind of worry about. Either way, 54 banners, it works out. Just slight misplay, and I just overpowered it for the win. Next up, CLS Chupio and Ezra. So just my standard unit here. I actually have a lot harder time in this fight than I thought I would. I don't know why. I think I make a couple of mistakes here. There's the one. I forgot that Akbar can actually remove taunt. I'm sorry, remove debuffs. And I forget how tanky Stormtrooper Han can be. I'm just trying not to hit him so he doesn't give his team the bonus turn meter. I don't remember if that's only during taunt or not. But as you can see, this battle is lasting a lot longer than I thought it would be. And to be honest, I thought that AoE from Chupio earlier was going to get the job done against Leia. But nobody's died, so it doesn't do extra damage. And he is only 4 stars, so it's really kind of limited. Got the stun here, clean it up, and I believe we're going to end with 52. I think if I used his second special, Chupio might have assisted and gotten back up to full banners. Again, I felt pretty good about the fight at this point, and I'm just kind of speeding through it. I didn't want to make a lot of noise. I was at my house, family was sleeping, so I just kind of wanted to get through it, and I didn't want to draw things out or talk too long. Now, sometimes when I face these negotiators with my malevolence, when they're not a fully maxed squad, it's a little harder because things just don't sync up. Things are out of turn. Like, usually my Vulture Droid is dead by now. So that kind of gave me a little pause. And I usually do a basic, but here with everybody out and I'm not trying to kill an Anakin, I just decided to use AoE and go for it. Everything will work out. It's really not a big deal at all. It's clone 12 or gear 12, non-Anakin, no Houndstooth, so it's all pretty smooth. Should elect AoE here to save the reinforcement, as I just don't want to lose another banner. And by calling the AoE, I still get that extra reinforcement anyway in the form of Vulture Droids, knowing that they don't have the damage to actually beat this fleet. So I just ride out what I got. And basic and General Grievous gets the last kill. 61 banners, so not great. Obviously, if he was a 7-star capital ship, he would have gotten the 65 banners. Really bumps me out. We don't get those points when we don't have access to it. But I could have also just used a 7-star fleet if I really wanted those points. I could have used Mace, Chimera, or anything like that, and my ships would have overpowered them either way. So this one's always kind of tough. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to approach these guys. I don't think it through enough, to be honest with you, because I didn't want Spy to go into stealth before the AoE And then I AoE'd and he went in stealth, and I really wanted to target him with Anakin's AoE to give him the buff immunity, but it all worked out because they got target lock, and 5s finished it off pretty quick. So 2-6, 6-2. Looks like we're still in that top 10 area. This was at night, about 12 hours before, or 16 hours before. And we'll hopefully keep up the pace, and we'll see what happens next time. Talk to you guys later. See ya.